The Epstein Files dropped on January 30th, and within 1 week, 6 different countries suddenly announced cancer cures. That's not a coincidence.
January 30, 2026, Epstein Files released. February 3-7, 2026, Spain, China, Cuba, Russia, Japan, and Australia all announced breakthrough cancer treatments at the exact same time. The U.S. withdrew from the WHO on January 22nd, and suddenly cures appear everywhere.
Wait, so for decades we had no cancer cures. Then the Epstein Files exposed big pharma connections, and suddenly everyone has cures.
Bill Gates was named in the Epstein Files. Gates has massive investments in pharmaceutical companies and WHO funding. Within days of his name being exposed, countries start announcing treatments the WHO allegedly suppressed.
So you're saying they were hiding cancer cures to protect pharmaceutical profits?
Look at the timing. Pancreatic cancer vaccine, 60 to 80% success rate in trials. Colorectal cancer immunotherapy breakthroughs. Russian mRNA cancer vaccine, all announced in a 7-day window after Epstein Files drop.
But couldn't this just be coincidental timing with World Cancer Day on February 4th?
That's the cover story, but ask yourself, why did countries wait until after the U.S. left the WHO to announce these? Social media exploded saying America has been holding back development for years to please pharmaceutical giants.
So the WHO was the gatekeeper preventing cures from being released.
Gates funded the WHO. Gates is named in Epstein Files, meeting with him multiple times. Gates has billions invested in big pharma. Now that he's exposed and the U.S. left WHO, suddenly the floodgates open with cancer breakthroughs.
You're connecting Epstein to cancer suppression through Bill Gates and the WHO?
The conspiracy theory writes itself. Keep people sick, sell them expensive treatments forever, make billions. Cure them once, you lose the customer. Epstein's blackmail kept this system protected.
So Epstein wasn't just trafficking, he was blackmailing people to maintain control over entire industries?
Within 1 week of files being released, pancreatic cancer breakthroughs, colon cancer treatments, lung metastases cures, HPV-related cancer vaccines, blood cancer therapies all simultaneously announced.
That timing is genuinely suspicious. Why all at once if these were in development for years?
Because the people protecting big pharma profits just got exposed in the Epstein Files. Once their blackmail network collapsed, countries felt safe to finally release what they'd been sitting on.
So we could have cured cancer years ago, but it was suppressed to maintain pharmaceutical profits?
The most profitable patient is one who stays sick but never dies. Epstein's network made sure that system stayed protected. Until now.
This is the darkest thing I've ever...
The Epstein Files dropped on January 30th, and within 1
Welcome, my friends. My name is Antoine Phoenix, and this is my RP experience. Peace and love to all my brothers and sisters out there. Thank you for being here for another one of my videos. Today's video, or rather tonight's video, is we're going to be talking a little about the Epstein Files. I know I did a video probably a month ago that I reacted to Zaffy, and he had a great take. And we both agree that the red, the blue, the liberals, the conservatives, the Democrats, the Republicans are all on the same type of time, that demon time, basically. Now, I have a theory, though. I'm starting to wonder if the secret societies are at war with one another. Maybe it's some up-and-coming young bucks, men, some women, trying to take over. And yes, I realize that mostly men are influencing or in charge of the corruption that is going on with not just the Epstein Files, but with the government, with Hollywood, the music industry. It seems like every industry, if you go high enough, you will start seeing things that you don't like. I also believe, to a degree, the same way we have the two biggest gangs that I know of, called the Crips and the Bloods. Yes, there are motorcycle gangs also, but to keep it simple, the Crips and the Bloods. Which one is the better one of the two? Or are they both foul? Now, I'm pretty sure with anything, you have people in there that may not be totally bad, may have some good in them. They have families. They may even help people out and do the right thing. But overall, I think both sides have a lot to do with violence, people taking medicine that you can buy on the street. I'm not sure if I can say that on YouTube, so I'm just going to use medicine, narcotics that people will purchase on the street. I believe both gangs are involved in that particular thing. Now, when Epstein Files were first coming out, and actually it came out in 2015, and I kept wondering about who's on the list. And then it went quiet because we don't know if Epstein has been deleted or has he been in the witness protection program. He gaining a new identity, maybe had some plastic surgery, grew a beard, dyed his hair, and looks different and living a totally different life right now. That could be possible because they always say that you have a doppelganger or someone that looks like you somewhere in the world. The Epstein Files did not get drummed up again until the Democrats got so riled up trying to get Trump out of office. And yes, I get it. A lot of you on the liberal side do not like him. And I understand why. He says some obnoxious things. He does seem like he does not have empathy for people, but at the same time, I kind of think the way America has got themselves up against the wall, you kind of made it that we needed a person that had some backbone. Now, it just happened to be him. And while all this stuff came out with them being pedos, maybe consuming children, a bunch of things I'm not going to cover here. I have an interesting clip that I found with Family Guy that may shed some light on my theory that the secret societies may be at war with one another.
What if the Epstein files weren't leaked to expose the truth, but to intentionally destroy the old power structure so a new one can take control?
January 2026. Over 3 million pages released naming everyone Bill Gates, Prince Andrew, politicians, CEOs. But ask yourself, who benefits from destroying these people's credibility all at once?
You're saying someone wanted these files released, that it's not justice, but strategy.
Think about it. These files have existed since 2019, when Epstein died. They could have released them any time. Why now? Why January 2026 specifically? What changed?
So the timing isn't random, it's calculated.
Look at what's happening simultaneously. Trump just took office promising to drain the swamp. Russia-Ukraine war escalating. Middle East conflicts exploding. China-Taiwan tensions at breaking point. Multiple powder kegs ready to blow at once.
You think World War III is being orchestrated while we're distracted by Epstein files?
Not distracted, prepared. The files expose the old power structure. Gates, Clinton, British royalty. These are the legacy elites. What if a new power structure wants them eliminated so they can take over?
So this is a power transition disguised as justice.
The files show Gates emailing Epstein about meetings, photos of them together on Epstein's plane. Prince Andrew at the island? These aren't leaks, these are executions, public character assassinations of the old guard.
But who would orchestrate something this massive? Who Who has that kind of power?
Look at the pattern. COVID-19 reshapes global economy. Ukraine war breaks energy systems. Inflation destroys middle-class savings. Epstein Files destroy trust in institutions. Each crisis benefits whoever's building the next system.
You're saying every major crisis from 2020 to 2026 is connected?
When the old system collapses, people will beg for a new one. They'll accept digital currencies, social credit systems, surveillance, anything as long as it's not run by those pedophile elites. That's the setup.
So we're being manipulated into wanting tyranny by making the current system look so evil that we'll accept anything else?
The Epstein Files aren't about justice. Justice would mean arrests. This is about controlled demolition. Destroy the old rulers, start World War III to reset everything, and build a new system from the ashes.
Problem, reaction, solution. Create the crisis, let people panic, then offer the predetermined answer.
We're not witnesses to scandal. We're watching the planned demolition of one empire so another can rise, and we're cheering for it.
I genuinely don't know what's real anymore.
That's exactly how they want you to.
A big reason for this, I believe, is once Diddy went down. Now, even though Diddy went down, he did not get the full time that he should have got. But I think because he was smart enough, similar like Epstein, to have people blackmailed, incriminating evidence of them being with minors or being in situations that would make them look bad, those charges was able to be drummed down. I know he was hoping to get off with no time at all, but the spotlight on him was so intense that that was not going to happen. Yet, again, he wasn't in there that long. Now, of course, people want the people to pay that's in the redacted files for the things they have did against humanity, and especially the children. There are a lot of women that, unfortunately, have been the victims of this underworld. See, and that right there makes a lot of sense. That is what could be going on. Thing is, though, until they start having trials, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. This has become such a big thing. Somebody has to take the fall. Thing is, though, I don't know who's going to take the fall. And will it be the person that most people want to take the fall? Whether you are Republican or Democrat. You cannot stand on the mountain and be like, hey, your side is foul. Because there are devils on your side as well. It's devils on the blue and the red side. Both sides have been cutting up. So there's no way around that. I recently got into a debate with a female associate online, which she always beats her drum for the Democratic Party. But she had to admit that some of them could be consuming the little ones. And then I just had to chime in, and I reminded her that I told her a year or two ago that it's not just one side, it's both sides. Now, is there some good people on the red and blue side? Yes, I believe there are good people. Knock something down. Unfortunately, the people that's running it, that has most of the power or most of the clout or have most people in fear are the bad people. The people that are trying to control us or trying to eliminate people that is going to be too much of a problem for them. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed my take on this particular thing. So what do I think is going to happen? I don't really think that enough people is going to go down to make too much of a difference. Well, it's going to make a bit of a difference. And of course, as this post that I came across, this woman said, if we prosecute everyone, is going to wreck the U.S. government system. Look, I've always been a nihilist to a degree. Okay, I'm like this. If I find a roach in my place, I'm like, okay, we're tearing everything out and spraying everywhere, letting off bombs, because I don't want nothing to survive. And that's just the way that I do it. So, But I do hope there is somewhat of a change. Oh, and there's one bad thing though, because I finally start investing in the right things. Because I was invested in XRP. I was invested in XRP, and then what happened was it started going down, and I believe it has something to do with the damn Epstein files. Okay, so damn, I had a hot feeling that the crypto that I had was going to blow up. It was XRP and another one that I had. That I just was like waiting because I had a friend of mine that he was already up 40,000. Okay, I was like yes, but then it started going backwards. And I was like, what's going on? Okay, I think the files has something to do with that particular thing. And then of course there's the timing of the Epstein files, and then the cure for cancer comes out. I always thought they had a cure for cancer, but it was too much money to be made with them giving us over the counter medication that would just alleviate the symptoms. I don't put nothing past Big Pharma doing that particular thing right there. I just didn't know that maybe the US, and it's not just the US, but certain other countries had such a clamp of saying like, hey, we are not showing no cure for cancer. All those people that passed away, I was like, wow. Now, well, once again, that's what I read. As far as I heard, there has been some other countries that has put that out, similar like this clip has said. So, anyway, that is all that I have to add. Give me a like and subscribe. Have a good day. God bless everyone. I hope we have a happy ending. Good night.
If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, you may as well give up on politics. If the fact that we now have confirmation that what the conspiracy theorists have been saying for years is true, that Pizzagate is real, and that there's no such thing as left and right, there's no such thing as a sovereign nation, there's just ultra wealthy people exploiting the poor to the point where they can get little girls and do whatever they want to them on an island, and all the evidence of it can exist, and instead of there being any repercussion at all, it's going to be discussed a little bit by a few people on Twitter, and they're going to continue doing exactly as they did before. If nothing happens over this Epstein stuff, if there's no mass raids, mass arrests, mass public trials, you may as well just give up on politics. May as well just give up. The system is so rotten, it's never going to be fixed. Even transparency isn't fixing any of this stuff. And the reason for it is not because the elites are actually so smart. It's not because they have all this power. It's because the crowd is apathetic. You care because you're on the internet, you're on Twitter. You might be watching this video on Instagram and you mentioned it to your friends sometimes. Well, by and large, nobody gives a shit. They've got us so distracted trying to pay our own bills, arguing with each other, have a problem with our neighbor over the lawn being mowed, don't like a black guy, don't like a white guy, don't like Mexicans. They put Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl. He speaks Spanish. That distracted most of you. What were you watching the Super Bowl in the fucking first place for? Who gives a shit? The fact that they can distract people so easily, they can divide people so heavily, means that most people at home are apathetic. They don't give a shit. If you walk around, I'm in New York now, you walk around New York and say, have you heard about the Epstein thing? Most people will go, yeah, I heard. But they don't really care because they got to pay their bills and they have enough problems and they're stressed enough and they weren't there and it's someone else's problem to fix. They've got us so massively demoralized to the point now that every single conspiracy theorist can be proven true and that you can know you are paying taxes to evil billionaires who intend on raping your daughters, and still no one's gonna do shit. Nothing's gonna happen. The system's going to keep on limping on, and you're going to pretend that this Epstein expose sticks something. Oh yeah, I'm sure Epstein was the only man who knew girls for the elites, I'm sure. Anyone who's been anywhere near the top, let me tell you, there's plenty of guys like him. Plenty. If nothing happens...
I still wanna run to you.